welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if you're new here, and today's the start of my week-long Summerween vlog, and I am just like over the moon, so excited that Summerween is here. I love fall, I love Halloween. I'm not a huge fan of summer, so I'm just very excited that this time has come and I can dedicate a week to spooky stuff, movies, TV shows, books. I'm probably gonna bake some pumpkin stuff. It's hot here where I live, which kind of brings down the vibe. It's 35 to 40 degrees Celsius, which is like 95 to 104 Fahrenheit. I just checked. I don't know how to do that off the top of my head. So yeah, kind of bringing down the vibe. I do have air conditioning, so hopefully I can stay cool to wear like some comfy sweaters and stuff like that. So I did set a TBR for 6 books on the like Summerween template that they put out. However, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I'm gonna do the whole TBR. I'm gonna aim to do it, but I'm not gonna like hold myself to it just in case there's other like spooky books I want to read or thrillers or anything like that. And then as the week goes on, I'll update the vlog with books that I actually end up reading, but I do have like full intentions to read this whole TBR. So with that said, let's get into my TBR. One of the first books that I want to read is The Whisper Man, and this one I've wanted to read for a very long time. Oh, I should also mention that they put out like some prompts to fulfill for books. Like, you don't have to do it, but they put out some like prompts to fulfill with your TBR if you want to. So I have some that like overlap with different categories, but yeah. So this one we have a dad and a son, and they move to a new town after his wife dies, just kind of like for a fresh start. And then we find out that about 20 years earlier, there was a serial killer called the Whisper Man who abducted and killed 5 different people. He was called the Whisper Man because he would like whisper to the people before he abducted them, like at night at their windows, which is so creepy. And then a new person vanishes. So they're wondering like what's going on with that. Is it related? Is there a copycat? I think that's what happened. Very excited to get to this one. And then like I said, this one fulfills the thriller prompt. The next one I picked up is because a lot of these are pretty scary. So I grabbed this one off my shelf, and it's The Murder of Mr. Wickham. And this one also fulfills the prompt of 5 words in the title. And this one is set in Regency, England, and it's a locked door, like mansion, murder mystery at a dinner party type of situation. And most of the characters are characters from different Jane Austen novels. So I'm not super well versed with Jane Austen. I've always wanted to read the books before I watch the screen adaptations, so I might be at a bit of a disadvantage with this one, but I'm hoping that just because I don't really know too much about them like in depth, I know like surface level stuff about the characters, but I'm hoping that that doesn't like hinder the reading experience. And then the next one I have is The Blonde Dies First, and this one sounds super interesting. I am a little bit into it, but not very far, like less than 50 pages prior to Summerween. But it is pretty interesting. It's YA, and it's set in New York City with a group of friends that are about to head into their senior year of high school, and then all of a sudden they're like being hunted by a demon. So it has a very interesting premise. On the back at the top it says it's Scream meets The Breakfast Club, so that one definitely grabbed my attention like right away, and I'm really looking forward to reading more of this one. Oh, and this one also fulfills my prompt of it's set during summer. The next one I have is The First Day of Spring, and this one also fulfills the 5 words in the title as well as it just being a thriller. And I've had this one for a very long time, so I'm looking forward to picking it up and reading it. So in this one we have the main character Chrissy, and when she's 8 years old she kills a boy. Afterwards, like, she feels very like good about it, like she feels like she has a sense of power. And then flash forward 20 years, I think that might be going back and forth in time, like different like dual timelines. We're getting flashbacks. 20 years later, Chrissy's going by a new name, and she has a 5-year-old daughter, and apparently the past is catching up to her and it's threatening to take away her daughter somehow. I'm not sure like what that means, but this one I've heard nothing but good things about, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. The next one is We Used to Live Here, and this one was like, I think maybe a story on Reddit, like a fictional story on Reddit that became like viral. It's kind of thought of as Turn of the Key meets Parasite. I haven't seen either, but I know about both, so I'm I'm excited, but I'm scared. I'm very scared. I don't think this will be a nighttime read for me just based on what I've heard about the synopsis, but also what I've seen from other people talking about it. I don't think this will be a nighttime read for me, but I am excited nonetheless. And in this one we have a couple, Eve and Charlie, and they flip houses. So they buy a new house, they move into it, they're gonna start fixing it up, and then randomly one day, pretty early on, a man and his family knock on the door and he says, like, I used to live here, I lived here growing up. Can I bring my family in and kind of show them around and show them where I grew up? I don't really know what happens, but yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to this one. The next is The Vacancy in Room 10, and this one has had a ton of hype and buzz leading up to it. So we have our main character Anna, and her husband Henry calls her one night with like this horrible confession that he has committed murder, and then she doesn't really believe him, but then his body washes up on shore. And then there's like the sketchy motel manager. I'm not like sure in which direction this is gonna go like at all, but I've heard really good things, and like I said, it was highly anticipated for a lot of people. So those are the main books that I want to get to. And then I also got Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant from the library, so I'm hoping to get to this one. It's not like officially on my TBR, but I am hoping to get to this one. And this one is just like a cute fall cozy mystery. We have our main character Lindsay, and she has a bake shop in this allegedly haunted restored lighthouse, and then like some ghost hunters come to town for their show and want to film it, and then one of the townspeople ends up like dead, hanged outside of the lighthouse. So that causes like quite a commotion in the town, which leads Lindsay and her best friend to want to figure out like what's going on, as well as kind of dealing with, is the lighthouse actually haunted, and like what are we gonna do about it? So those are the 6 books on my TBR, and then the one like library hopeful that I have. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to all the books on my TBR, but like I said, it's my plan to. And then I'm just kind of like letting myself pick up books that I want to read for Summerween, like spooky ones, or you know, whatever fits like the Summerween vibe. So I'm just kind of like letting myself do that just because it's supposed to be fun and I'm not gonna like stress myself out. And I also want to give myself the ability to DNF during this vlog. Like, I don't want to force myself to read a book just to read it because it's in the vlog. So if one of the books on my TBR, like if it doesn't work out, I'm not gonna force myself to finish it. So Summerween starts tonight at midnight, July 5th. And today is Thursday, so just a little bit later today, I'm going to be able to start reading for Summerween. I'm gonna kind of set stuff up and just kind of make it cozy in here. I have some like smart bulbs, so I'm gonna change them to like Halloween colors. I'm really going overboard, but it's fine. So I will catch up with you guys around the time that Summerween starts. Okay, so it's Thursday night and it's officially like the first night of Summerween, and I'm so excited. It seems like kind of ridiculous how excited I am, but I'm just having like not a good summer, not a good time. So I'm very excited to kind of have this like little reprieve, I guess, from typical summer stuff. So tonight I'm gonna be focusing on 2 different books for like 2 different moods, I guess. So I think one of the books is going to be The Whisper Man. This one will be like my spooky one. And then I have Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant, and this one is just like a cute little fall cozy mystery. Super excited to get into this one. I haven't read like a good cozy mystery in quite a while, so I'm very excited to check this one out. I also have tea in my cute mug, so I'm very excited for that. I think I just finished it. Oh, I have a little bit left. So I'm going to stay up kind of late tonight and read those books. I'm going to put on some movies in the background. So I think first I'm going to watch Hocus Pocus and then maybe Practical Magic. I'm not sure. I just want like something cozy tonight on the TV, not like something scary for the background. So definitely gonna go with something like that. And I'm actually just about 30 pages into this one and it's really cute. I'm really liking it. So far it kind of has all of the things I like in a cozy mystery with some added like cute little fall themed things. So I'm really excited to keep checking this one out. It's also on Kindle Unlimited, so when it's time for me to go to bed, I can keep reading this one before I fall asleep. So that's a nice option to have, especially because the Whisper Man copy I have is hardcover, so like I don't like to read hardcovers in bed. I am gonna go with that one. I'm very excited for the first night of Summerween. I'm hoping that the Whisper Man doesn't scare me too badly tonight, but we'll see. I guess that's kind of in the spirit of Summerween. So I'm just looking forward to kind of settling in and getting started. So I will check in with you guys in a little bit. and so it's now Saturday and I'm officially done 2 books for Summerween. The first one that I finished is The Whisper Man, and the second one that I finished is Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant, and both of these were 3 stars for me. I wasn't in love with them, but they were kind of just okay. There was some problems that I found with Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant. The best friend was really annoying and very unlikable, and I thought that by the end there would be some sort of like redemption for her and that we would actually like her, but that didn't really happen and I just really disliked her. I also really didn't like the boyfriend of our main character. He was also just very annoying, and then the best friend and the boyfriend hated each other. So that was just a super weird and annoying dynamic to have to read about all the time. And like the best friend had an annoying nickname for the boyfriend that she solely referred to him as, and it was just like really annoying. So I wasn't a huge fan of that one. There's also a point in the story where the best friend and the main character want to like cleanse this allegedly haunted space. So they bought like bundles of sage so that they could like cleanse and smudge the space. And that was kind of annoying just because they treated it kind of as a joke and just kind of like whatever, they were just kind of like jokingly doing it. And smudging and using sage to like cleanse a space is like a pretty sacred thing with Indigenous communities. So I found that to be really off-putting, especially because the book was published last year in 2023. So I found that I just didn't love a lot of aspects of that book. So it's a very low 3. And then I also have The Whisper Man, and this one I just didn't really connect with the story or the characters at all. It kept me like kind of engaged and kind of interested, but I found myself like not really connecting with the characters or caring what happened to them or what happened in like the story. I just found myself like not super immersed in the story either. So that was kind of annoying. It was definitely like a better 3 than Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant, but it was not like a great 3. So I'm off to like an okay start with my books for Summerween. The Whisper Man was on my official TBR, like the 6 books that I really wanted to get to, and then Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant was from the library and one that I was just really hoping to get to, so I'm glad that I actually knocked one off my official TBR. If you know me, you know my TBRs are very much like my hopefuls list or like my guidelines, but I have a big problem sticking to the TBR, so I'm really happy that I already have one knocked off from there. So the next ones that I'm reading are We Used to Live Here and The Murder of Mr. Wickham, but I'm not too far into this one and I am really liking it so far. It's definitely like cozy and kind of funny. And then We Used to Live Here, I'm about 30 pages into this one and it is scary. I'm definitely a little bit scared reading this one. I don't think I'm gonna be able to read this one at night, so this is gonna be like my daytime book, I think. So those are the 2 books I'm gonna be focusing on today. I did bake yesterday. I made pumpkin blondie bars and they are so good. I'm really happy that I decided to bake just because the smell of like the pumpkin spice in the apartment was just like so good. I've been making iced lattes, and in the milk frother I'm putting like just a teaspoon of pumpkin spice, like spice mix, and it's so good. So I'm really loving having like the pumpkin flavors going on and like the pumpkin smells. I really wish I had like any fall candles here, but I don't, so that's kind of sad. I might bake again later today, but I'm not sure. At the risk of like having too many little minuscule updates just for the sake of it, I'll probably talk to you guys tomorrow unless there's something that I really want to like mention tonight, but I'll probably catch up with you guys tomorrow. Okay, so today is Monday. I didn't film yesterday, but I did get some reading done. Unfortunately, I decided to DNF The Murder of Mr. Wickham. I was just over 100 pages in and I don't know, like I couldn't focus. I was like dreading picking it up. I was not having a good time with this one at all. I'm not gonna like hard DNF it. Like I think I'm just gonna put it down for now and like pick it up in the future some other time, but just for right now, like it's not what I'm in the mood for, so I'm not gonna continue this one right now. I just finished We Used to Live Here and this one was 4.5 stars. This one was crazy. I really liked it. It was extremely scary. Like I couldn't read this at night. Like I was definitely getting a little too freaked out, which never really happens to me, but I think this one is technically horror, not like a thriller. I don't really read horror. I have read like Grady Hendrix, but to me he's more like satirical horror almost. So I don't really find those ones as scary as this one just like really freaked me right out. I was definitely not disappointed by this one at all. Like I said, I gave it 4.5 stars. I would really recommend this one for around Halloween, like highly recommend, or really just like anytime. I would really highly recommend this one. So I've now completed 2 out of the 6 on my official TBR. I don't have the ebook or physical for The Vacancy in Room 10, I think it's called. That was also my official TBR, so I'm gonna listen to the audio of that one. So I've started that one yesterday, and it's pretty good so far. It's interesting. I'm not very far in, so I'm not gonna make like any sort of call on how I feel about it, but it's interesting so far. It's a pretty good thriller. I'm also 75 pages into Camp Sylvania, and this one is a middle grade, and it's so cute. It's based in the summer, so they go to summer camp, and it's run by this woman who's like a wellness lifestyle like guru, health guru type of thing. She's like an influencer, and so she opens up the summer camp for like wellness, but it's just a fat camp. There are some signs that there might be some vampire activity going on at the camp, so our main character Maggie is, you know, kind of looking into that with her new friend. She's very introverted and very shy. She doesn't have a lot of friends at home, so she was very nervous, but she has made some friends, and then based on the synopsis, I think they're gonna start like looking into that and doing like some adventures. It's really cute so far. It has like a fun little like paranormal twist on your typical middle grade about like fitting in and making new friends. It's also pretty short. It's about 250 pages, so that's a perfect little read for my Summerween. So today I'm going to be reading Camp Sylvania and The Blonde Eyes first. I obviously haven't read this one yet during Summerween, but I did say earlier that I had already started it. I'm not very far in, but I was really liking what I had read so far, so I'm very excited to continue with this one. I almost forgot, and I don't know how, but yesterday I started A Dowry of Blood, and this one I'm 115 pages in, and I am obsessed with this. I was pretty sure I would like it, but I did not know like how much I would really love it. This one is from the point of view of Constanza, who is Dracula's first bride. I think I'm saying her name right, I'm not sure. And he is the one that turned her into a vampire. So the story starts like right from there. When he turns her into a vampire, he saves her from like the brink of death. And he is very much like toxic and controlling and just like super manipulative and like really messed up. And this one's really interesting because it's written in like a series of letters that she writes to Dracula, and at the beginning, the end of the first one, I'm pretty sure says like what's gonna happen at the end, and then the letter starting after that, she like takes us back to the beginning. So that has been super interesting. And I'm just gonna read a little bit from the back because I love what it says. Finding comfort in the arms of her rival consorts, she begins to unravel their husband's dark secret. With the lives of everyone she loves on the line, Constanza will have to choose between her own freedom and her love for her husband. But bonds forged by blood can be broken only by death. I might actually focus on this one for today because I'm like absolutely devouring it. I'm loving it. And then listen to the audio for A Vacancy in Room 10, I think it's called. I'm having such a good time. I think I've already said this, but I'm having a really good time with this. Really looking forward to just continuing with what I'm doing. Okay, so I think that's it for right now. I'm going to make an iced coffee and then sit down with A Dowry of Blood. And then if anything crazy happens, I will catch up with you guys later today. Hey everyone, so it's now Wednesday and I have a pretty big reading update just in terms of like what I've read, what I finished, what I'm currently reading, and what I'm hoping to finish by tomorrow night when it's like the official end of Summerween. So I finished A Dowry of Blood, and this one was 4.5 stars. I loved it. I continued to love it since the last update. For a while I thought it was gonna be 5 stars, but then I just didn't get that like 5-star feeling, you know? So it's definitely a 4.5. I loved it. The writing was beautiful. It was like so lyrical. I loved it so much. I loved our main character's point of view. I've never read Dracula, but it was just like such an interesting take on like your typical what you hear about when you think of like Dracula and Dracula stories. So this one was 4.5 stars. I would highly recommend this one. I also finished Camp Sylvania, and this one was so cute. There's a sequel that I found out about and I'm very excited to read that one. It was just so cute. It was perfect. It was nice and short, and it was just like it was just really cute and fun and adventurous. I loved like the messaging behind our main character Maggie and how she did something scary but made friends and, you know, like faced her fears. She kind of grew into herself over the summer in terms of being more comfortable with who she is as a person. And it was just like the cutest little middle grade, and I think a lot of kids would have fun with this one, especially around Halloween time. Okay, next I started and finished Enchanted to Meet You, and this one was really cute. There were like a few weird things about it, like the insta love would not be for everyone. I did see some like lower star reviews, and I did agree with some of the things that they said, but I think overall this one was 4 stars for me. However, I'm biased. Like, I love a good witchy rom-com. Like, it's one of my weaknesses with books is just like witchy rom-coms. I fall for them every time. In this one we have our main character Jessica, and she lives in a small town. She is a witch, but not because of like her family origin. She's more just like a self-taught witch, and in this world like everyone can be a witch. You just have to kind of like train yourself on the skills and kind of just like harness that power like within you. It was really cute. There is like a really corrupt like witch council, there's like a sweet romance, and then there's of course like the small town like gossip and drama. It was a very abrupt ending in terms of like how the conflict was resolved. That was the only thing that I didn't love about it, but the rest of it kind of made up for it. I also finished A Vacancy in Room 10, and this one I gave 3 stars, I believe. I didn't love this one. It was just like your basic thriller, but not even like a really good basic thriller. It was just very much like your run-of-the-mill, not great thriller, if that makes sense. So yeah, I didn't love it, but it was like okay. It was definitely making me feel slumpy at times, so I'm happy that this one I did on audio, because I don't know how I would have handled reading it. I don't think I would have been able to finish it for Summerween if it wasn't on audio. I'm also 130 pages into Cold Clay, which is the sequel to Shady Hollow. This is a very cute like murder mystery series set in like a small village, but all of the villagers are animals, but they have like people qualities, and they have like jobs, and they like act as humans. So it's really cute. We have our main character Vera Vixen, and I think she's a fox. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure she's a fox. She's also a journalist, like reporter, so she is trying to get to the bottom of this case. However, her boyfriend is the deputy of like the police, and he is a bear. This is so ridiculous. I can't believe I'm reading this, but like I love this little series. This is only the sequel, but like I definitely intend to read the rest. I think there's like 3 or 4 more at this point. I can't even get through it without laughing, but yeah, I don't know, it's ridiculous, but I'm really liking this one. And then I'm also reading The First Day of Spring, and this one is also kind of hard to get through. It's slow. I don't really want that during like a weekly like Summerween or like any sort of weekly like readathon type of situation. It's definitely causing like some slumpy feelings. I'm 167 pages through, and I think that's like about halfway. Yeah, it's just been like a little slow going, but but based on the reviews, like I don't think this is meant to be like a fast-paced thriller. But I am really enjoying the like dual timeline with like our main character and kind of like the flashbacks, but they're not really flashbacks. It's just like going back and like showing kind of her origin story. Like the chapters are like going back and forth, so that is making it a bit more interesting and like a bit more engaging. Okay, so that's my update for tonight. I'm still having like a very good time with this. I'm still loving it. I have read a lot of books in the last week. I'm feeling a little burnt out on the amount of books that I've read. I'm now up to 7 books that I've read, and then I'm halfway through those other 2. So tonight I'm just very excited to just kind of chill. I'm probably just gonna catch up on watching a bunch of booktube videos, because that's usually like what I do in the evenings and before bed, and I haven't really been doing that. So I'm excited to watch a bunch of those tonight. I think that's gonna be kind of it for now. And then yeah, like I said, tomorrow will be the last day of Summerween. So I'm hoping that I do like these other 2 books by the time I finish them, if I can finish them, and that I kind of ended on a high note. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow for the last day. Hi everyone. Okay, so Summerween is officially now over. So I thought I would do a quick little wrap up of the books that I read and what my ratings were. So the first book I read was The Whisper Man, and this one I gave 3 stars. Murder at the Pumpkin Pageant, and this one I also gave 3 stars. Next I read We Used to Live Here, and this one I gave 4.25 stars. Camp Sylvania, which is a cute little middle grade, and this one I gave 4.5 stars. A Dowry of Blood, and this one I gave 4.5 stars. Next, I read Enchanted to Meet You, and this one I gave 4 stars. First Day of Spring, and this one I gave 3.5 stars. Lastly, I read The Vacancy in Room 10, and this one I gave 3.5 stars. I also was reading Cold Clay, which is the sequel to Shady Hollow, and this one I got just over halfway, but I wasn't able to finish it in time for the end of Summerween. However, I am really liking it, and I think it'll probably be a 4-star. I also temporarily soft DNF'd The Murder of Mr. Wickham. This one I just wasn't in the mood for. It was making me feel a little slumpy, which I wasn't in love with for a week-long like little readathon, so this one I put down for the time being. I had so much fun with Summerween. It was so much fun vlogging the experience. It made me so excited for fall. It was such a nice like reprieve from summer for the time being. There was a heat wave during Summerween, so that was like a little weird. I also watched some of my favorite like Halloween movies and TV shows, which was also really nice, and I did some baking. So overall, I'd say it was a very fun and successful Summerween, and I'm really excited to do it again next year. So that's it for my Summerween vlog. I have a few video ideas for the next little while, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!